if they'll put me on the field on big stations like 810. I will dominate neocon fake rhinos every day. And the system knows it. Let me tell you about neocon right-wing gatekeepers, folks. And again, Rush Limbaugh helped wake me up 20 years ago. I'm not even saying he's a bad guy. But he, says there's no new world order, no world government. While the head of the UN 2 weeks ago called for world government, world taxes over everything. Jet travel, gasoline, money transfers. It's all over the Economist magazine, Davos, Switzerland. And he and others still make fun of anybody that talks about it. Like I pick up The Economist, or I play clips of the head of the EU calling for world government, or Obama calling for global government, or his staff, and they're like, oh, that's that kooky guy that gets angry about sovereignty and wants to keep his guns. You know when we're going to start really defeating tyranny? When we stop letting the left and right gatekeepers control us. And the good news is, even though the left and right told us there wasn't a world government forming, we were able to expose that it was happening, and now we've got a good chance of beating it. I want to give you some good news straight ahead, and then huge news. Your daughter draws a gun, you're going to jail. I tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
Folks, Iran and the Mideast nuclear mess is already ballooning our gas prices. Whether you're struggling with food costs, which are being blown up by gas costs now, or know that when the Mideast showdown explodes, whatever food supply you have is all you'll get because of huge panic demand, eFoods Direct Family Packs are the answer. Now, the most affordable best food is saving you up to 50% compared to other poor quality food companies. The new Alex Jones Quick Fix Family Packs save you so much money, the savings from eating this food will actually help you pay your other bills. No matter what effect the Mideast crisis or the crashing economy have, you'll have food as delicious tonight as 25 years from now. Order now for 50% savings and free shipping on these affordable family packs. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond Gusset Jeans. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond Gusset Jeans got it. Others don't.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
And we are back coming to you from beautiful Orlando, Florida. And this reminds me why I like Florida. Man, we're staying just at some little hotel by the edge of a golf course, and you go outside and there's like tropical birds hopping around and flowers everywhere. I like this. I like Central Texas. Austin's great, but it's been in a drought, and it's kind of like living in the middle of a Western movie or something. This is more like living in a jungle, so I love it. Good to be here with everybody under the loving eye of Disney. All right, I need to start getting into the news for all of our listeners out there, but getting into positive news, we have to stop, and I'm going to talk about this in my speech tonight, letting the gatekeepers, just because they've got a fancy teleprompter and a fancy suit, or they're the big talk show host authority, dictate reality to us. And say, you can't talk about this, you can't question authority, or you're a conspiracy theorist. If you question known government liars that have been caught lying thousands of times, if you don't trust big, mega, giant corporations that are in control of governments worldwide today, then you're a bad person for questioning them. No, that's what made America great, was questioning and not trusting government. What did George Washington say? Government is like fire, a dangerous servant and a fearful master. Now, they've said that the Southern Poverty Law Center and others would demonize somebody like George Washington today if he was alive. Well, they don't do it just because he's alive in our hearts and minds. They do it. FEMA, the rest of them. I have the videos in films like Road to Tyranny that police officers and others have sent me, where it shows FEMA actually demonizing the Founding Fathers. And they had articles in Philadelphia newspaper just a few months ago, and BBC picked it up, asking the question, is the Declaration of Independence illegal? And they said, yes, it is. Because it says you have a right to overthrow a corrupt government, and the government now says you don't have that right because they're God. It's about government dictating to you, and Madison Avenue and this whole manufactured plastic culture telling you what to think, how to dress, how to speak, trying to turn you into a plastic person. And so on the left and the right, these big globalist foundation-controlled shows have told you there's no corruption, that's a conspiracy theory, don't be involved, there's no global government, there's no CFR, there's no New World Order, there's no plan, for international banks to take over. Now they admit, open world private government taking over Europe by mega banks that put their people in charge of those countries. And I talk about this ad nauseum because it's the key. Open world government being announced. And because we didn't care about being attacked for decades, exposing what the real agenda was, and because Ron Paul didn't mind being attacked, because we all knew as it came out in the open, as this agenda expanded, people would then finally listen. And now because it's out in the open, people are listening. And we're moving into check, and the next move is checkmate against the globalist. But that doesn't mean that they can't put us in check or checkmate as well. We're in the fight. That's the good news that I can give you here today. Let me give you one example of this. I'm going to move on to contemporary, important, big breaking news right now. You remember 15, 16, 17, 18 years ago or so? I remember when I was first politically active 20 years ago, the mainstream media would come out to people like Pat Buchanan and others and say, you shouldn't be running for president on defending the Second Amendment. Nobody wants to take your guns. Remember back when they would say, no one wants to take your guns, we just want to ban all the semi-automatics and make you turn them in and have waiting periods and make you lock them up in your house and not have one in the house if you've got children. How many people remember 20 years ago, back when the mainstream media, who's not even mainstream anymore, they're the dead dinosaur media, would say, oh, we just want reasonable gun control. We don't want to take your guns. Remember that? You remember it. Okay, exactly. Everybody remembers it. And they still try it some today. But all the quotes of the Brady Center and the handgun control groups and all these people, they all bragged in their own documents that it was the individual abolition of firearms ownership. The UN on July 7th, 2000 put out an official report in New York at a convention they had, a meeting, a conference, a conclave, and they put it into UN law that their goal is global disarmament of the public. Here's the quote. Civilian ownership of any firearm threatens the legitimate power monopoly of the state. They believe a power monopoly of government over you, absolute dictatorship of the state, is legitimate. But the point is, they want your guns, and they're saying total abolition of individual ownership of guns. And the minute people stopped having debates about, oh, just be reasonable, let us restrict it some, and then come back a year later, let us restrict it some more. Oh, no, as soon as we got angry and took action, they're even repealing gun laws now in Canada. They just repealed the long rifle or a long gun registry last week, because they passed a gun registration and started using it to confiscate guns, and the public got angry and took action in a system that's much harder to affect change. And it was the first major gun law in the world outside of the U.S. reversed in the last 100 years that I know of, and NRA and Gun Owners of America said the exact same thing. The first victim disarmament piece of legislation reversed in a century outside of the United States. Think about that. We've reversed a few things here, but the first one outside of America, that's what I call 1776 worldwide. If we're going to be free, we got to have freedom worldwide. And the idea of freedom is so cool, so sexy, so hot, so awesome, so fantastic, so powerful, so alluring, that when you stack it up against tyranny and corruption and insider crony anti-free market capitalism, when you stack freedom up against that, we win. So everybody that thinks it's impossible to defeat the globalists, it's impossible to lose when good men and women stand up and take action. I cannot stress that enough to you, that we have got to take action, and more of that coming up in my speech. We're having so many victories. Every time people stand up and bring the real medical literature about fluoride in our water and the 7-fold increase in bone cancer, and the fact that the government's own scientists say take it out, but the special eugenics interest wanted added to increase cancer and reduce fertility. In every city where people resist and resist and resist for at least 3 years, it's removed. And just a few miles away from us in Pinellas County, right at 1 million people, Tampa is in that county, they removed fluoride from all of the water supplies. 60 years of globalists spending money, millions of sometimes, to get that into the water, because they love you so much. And all over the country, all over the world, in Calgary, Canada, they just removed it. In areas of England, in Europe, they're removing it. They're removing it all over. Now, the globalists have struck back. The globalists came in with millions of dollars in New Jersey and Arkansas, and they're trying it in every state right now, and have now passed mandatory fluoridation by law. But now it's not just a recommendation or a contract. Now they're demanding it. Now it becomes a civil rights issue of forced medication of the public. And so they're going to lose in court now. And now government openly wants lithium in the water and statins. We told you that was in documents years ago and showed you. Now they're openly pushing it. We'll be right back with the build-up towards war with Syria and Iran and a lot more. Stay with us, live in Orlando, Florida.
A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even though I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months, simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out.